How should we deal with negative comments online? That's the question we're pondering today on The Art of Lifing with Keka. Have you ever come across a young child who's been hurt or upset about something, and suddenly they're spewing their anger out in the circumstance? Most adults in that situation would look at the child and recognize that that anger is really coming from their hurt that they're feeling in the moment, and we won't vilify the child. We would rather try to understand the child and maybe make the situation a little bit better for them. But when it comes to adulthood, we do tend to say, I'm not going to give you the same leeway. I'm going to hold you accountable to your actions and your words. But so often, if you read comments online, there is almost this sense of consistent bullying that I see across different formats. Even like a simple news article that somebody writes, if you see the comments that go back and forth, somebody might spew some anger this way, another person immediately labels them and then spews hate and anger back, and the conversations become so much more polarized that essentially we end up yelling at each other online as opposed to really trying to understand each other better. And so how should we be dealing with negative comments online? It's a good question for us to ask because I don't know that we all consciously think about it. Moreover, if we see somebody that says something hurtful on a comment online, specifically if it's targeted at us, it's so easy for us to just intake those words as this person meant those words that way to us. And sometimes we might be tempted to give those words some validity. But here's the thing. When somebody gets angry, a lot of the time, it's really just a cover for the hurt that they're shielding. And someone said to me the other day that when somebody hurts you or says something hurtful to you, they're really just trying to pay their hurt forward in the hopes that it's going to heal them. That was so powerful for me when I heard that, because suddenly now, if you see somebody making a hurtful comment or an angry comment online, we don't need to necessarily see them as a villain. Now suddenly we might see some more depth to them and recognize that they might also be a victim. And the way in which we respond to a villain is often very different than the way that we would respond to a victim. So Dr. Shefali, this famous psychologist, talks about the fact that our most basic needs, our most basic human needs, boil down to three questions. Do you see me? Do you hear me? And do I matter? If you look at some of those hateful comments online from the lens of somebody who's feeling like a victim, and really at the end of the day searching for those questions, do you see me? Do you hear me? Do I matter? The way in which we respond might be completely different than if we say, you're a villain, you own those words, and now you have to pay because I'm going to label you a villain. It's sometimes a little bit disheartening to see so many negative comments online, but once in a while, every once in a while, you'll come across a story where someone reacts to someone who's angry with some compassion and some understanding, and maybe just a response that says, yes, I do hear you, I do see you, and despite the words that you're showing me, despite the anger you're giving me, you matter. And so I think that's a takeaway that I want to have every time I look at comments that are negative, to remind myself that those angry, hurtful words may just be somebody's attempt to pay that hurt forward to heal them. So the question I can ask myself then is, how can I respond to this particular comment in a way that might actually help heal them and might help show them that we do see them and they do matter and that it's okay to be a victim. It's just that the words we use can often be different. Something to think about the next time you see a negative comment online. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like it. And if you know someone who you think would like to see something like this as well, please share the video. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every week on Tuesdays.